Come join Women Wednesdays with Lady Be Bless, an empowering podcast spotlighting women in leadership. A weekly look at some amazing women leaders, mentors, role models, change makers, community advocates, presidents, CEOs, executive directors, and boss ladies. These women are women that lead. Every Wednesday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, streaming live, facebook.com/Lady Be Bless, youtube.com/Lady Be Bless.
Hello, everyone. Oh my goodness, it's so good to be back. Everyone have it already tuned in. This is Women Wednesday with Lady Be Blessed. I've been gone for 3 weeks. I've been doing some traveling for some family emergency, but it's wonderful to be back with you guys here on a Wednesday and where we share stories of women that's doing wonderful things, women that's empowering women. And you know, I always believe that empower women, empower other women. So I take this time here on Wednesday to bring you some women that I feel that should be in the spotlight. You should know about these women and the things that they're doing to help mankind, to help humanity, and to further the empowerment of women and the girl child. And today is no exception. So I'm very, very excited about my guest today. She's doing some wonderful things. And I do want to say, everyone that inboxed me about my brother, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Everyone that sent me wishes and everything in my journey to and from San Diego to visit my brother. I thank you guys. I love you guys so much. The love is so real, and I appreciate. Today, we have Amirah. She is a humanitarian. She's a health care coach, and she's a cybersecurity engineer. You see, how does that go together? But you'll find out. She is a servant leader with a positive mind, mental attitude, and she has a passion for health, wellness, and wealth. And I will bring her on so you guys can learn more about her and the things that she does. Amirah, hi, welcome, gorgeous.
Give thanks, my beloved
Love
sister.
and light to you, beautiful. How are you today?
I'm a reflection of you. I am doing well. Thank you so much for inviting me to participate. It is my absolute pleasure to be here. Thank you so much.
No, thank you. Thank you for coming. You guys notice the smile, right? It's always radiant, no matter what. I've never seen a dull smile. The smile is always radiant. I want you to take this time and give an intro. Tell my audience who you are.
Who am I?
Who are you? I am who I am. I've seen your page.
I am Amirah Ansaar, and my name in and of itself means, Amirah means leader or princess, and Ansar means helper. So as I go through life, I really look to see if I'm being a leader or if I'm helping. So typically when you see me, I'm acting in either of those capacities. I think it's super important to lead by example, to be an example here in humanity. I think it's important that we always focus on standing on truth and standing in righteousness. So that is my focus. I love nature. Trees are my favorite thing in the whole wide world. So that's a little bit about me. I know when you introduced me, you know, I am a servant leader. That is what I've been put on this planet to do. And I find that it's very easy to lead by example, as long as you take that introspection with yourself and ensure that you are in tune with who you are, because then you could be your best self, and that helps to guide others to be their best selves as well. I am a health and wellness coach. I've been doing health and wellness coaching for years now. I am certified through the Institute of Integrative Nutrition. I am getting ready to sit for the national board exam. So I'm super excited about that. The National Board of Medical Examiners are recognizing health and wellness coaches. We are now really being a part of the health and wellness community. So they're really relying on us to really assist in healthcare and in wellness. So it is an honor and a pleasure to be preparing right now. Like, I'm in the process of preparing to sit for the board exam, which is super exciting, but it is something that is super intensive as well. So wish me luck. Wish me luck on that.
You're going to do just fine. You know, today's World Health Day.
Yes.
Today's World Health Day. And I was just in a group in Clubhouse celebrating World Health Day with one of my, with T. Thompson. She was talking about agribusiness and how we are going through food insecurity, and how it's so important on World Health Day that we educate each other on how to be healthy.
Absolutely.
You see, and here I am talking to you about World Health Day, and you're a World Health coach.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. So give me some thoughts on World Health Day.
So my thoughts on World Health Day are this. I think that what we need to do, each and every one of us individually, is really need to just kind of do a little bit of an introspection and see what things that we can do. And they can be simple things that we can do that are going to impact our health and our wellness and the health and the wellness of our families. I am also a sacred woman. I don't know if you're familiar with Queen Afua and her health and wellness institute that she has. And again, she comes at it from a ancient Kemetic perspective, as well as, you know, focusing on the woman as being the healer of the household and letting that expand out into your communities so that we can all be more healthy, right? Because again, your health is your wealth. We know the father of medicine, Imhotep, said, let thy food be thy medicine and thy medicine be thy food. And unfortunately, we have really been in a food crisis for decades, basically because of how government entities and things along those lines are more focused on the bottom line and profit on food. And so what they're pushing out there for us may not always be the best things that our body needs as it relates to nutrients, micronutrients, things like that, to help our bodies do what they're designed to do, because we were created perfectly in the Most High's image, right? And our bodies are able to repair themselves. We go through cellular rebuild on a regular basis, right? So with almost every 7 years, you practically have a brand new body. But the issue is, if you're not getting the nutrients and the vitamins and the things that you need to allow your body to do those processes, that's when it starts to fail on you. You know, and so from a perspective of World Health Day, I think it's super important that we each take that introspection to say, what can I do differently? Even if it's one simple thing that I can do differently. And I always tell my folks when I first start coaching, just start drinking more water. Let's just start with that. And then you realize when you go down that line of water, now there's a whole bunch of different options and what's the best and what's the best way to do it and when should I take it in and all of those different things. So it becomes, really getting detailed about how you do things as it relates to your health, because that's what's important. But just something as simple as drinking more water, getting in at least 3 vegetables and fruits a day, starting from there, because I never like to tell folks like, don't eat this and don't do that and all of that.
They won't listen.
Yeah. So I'm more of, how about we add some additional things, which essentially crowds out those other things. Because if you start taking in more water, you're going to be less likely to take in something else. If you're focused on getting 3 fruits and vegetables in a day. And you think 3, it's a small number. Hey, I can do that, right? Drinking more water. Hey, I can do that. You'll notice that the more you add, it also, it kind of really takes away some of the stuff. So I don't necessarily have to say, don't do that. You're just not going to want to do it because you don't have any room for it after a while.
Yeah, because it's amazing that a lot of us think we're hungry, but actually we're thirsty.
Absolutely.
Because we don't give our body enough water.
And malnourished, believe it or not, because
Yes.
a lot of the food that we consume contains no nutrients. It's not serving us. It'll serve us to get us full, to fill our stomachs. But what we're taking in is not doing what we need in order for our bodies to develop and grow.
Empty calories.
Absolutely. Yeah.
One thing I've decided to do for World Health Day is get sleep.
Absolutely.
I'm running 2-3 hours of sleep a day. Mm-hmm. And I notice I've started to notice that anytime I sit down, be it I'm out or anyway, I instantly fall asleep.
Yes.
So I made it, now I'm like, I need to get to bed at 11 o'clock.
Yes.
2, 3, 4 o'clock, I'm up. And now I'm making a conscious effort to get more sleep. Mm-hmm. And when you get more sleep, you wake up early. I'm like, wow, it's 6 o'clock. I'm up. Why am I up? Yeah, but it's your body is it's regulated just from sleep alone. Mm-hmm. You see, and then the next thing, yes, is the water. Mm-hmm. You see, it's the water, and then the vegetables. Like I've started juicing, and my skin. It's amazing how your skin feels different from just doing the juice.
Yes.
And I was amazed how many juice I got from like one cucumber. I'm like, where is all of this juice coming from? And then I'm doing more of the, I don't like okra, and there's a lot of things I don't like, but if I blend it and put it in a sauce, like okra sauce, you guys wouldn't believe, put some onions in it, some garlic and some okra in a blender, and then you could just put it on your food. So it's not the same. So I'm at least 60 pounds overweight. Mm-hmm. So this is a journey that I said for myself, starting in 2021, I have to go on because I want to live for another 50 years.
Absolutely.
You know? So it's wonderful talking to you about this health journey, and check up on me.
I promise.
Check up on me.
And I also want to offer all of your viewers, I will put my calendar up, and I will offer a 1-hour consult at no cost.
Oh, wow.
For all of your viewers. And I'll
if you see some of the comments like Stella Soccer, she's in Ghana. She's like, wow, beautiful. That's great. And then Esther is in New York. She says, great topic. It's definitely important to address these issues. Absolutely. Especially for us Black women. We never take care of ourselves. What are some advice you have for Black women today about taking care of their health?
Well, one thing that I would say to our beloved sisters is to really put yourself first. It's important to put yourself first. Self-care is important, right? We have to do those things. We have to take our baths and with our essential oils and all of that good stuff, and give ourselves time. When we wake up in the morning, don't just touch your phone. Give yourself time, journal, write down exactly some of the things that you want to accomplish, whether it's professional or whether it's personal. Really just getting in tune with yourself. I know for me, I bathe like probably at least 3 times a day. I spend a lot of time in the bathtub because for me, it's like a sanctuary. So not only am I getting the reverse osmosis and cleaning out my cells and things like that, removing toxins based on what I'm putting in my bath, typically different salts and baking soda or ginger. It just really kind of depends on the mood that I'm in. But they're really invigorating. They really help you clear your mind. Understanding that you really do have to put yourself first. And sometimes we as women, we wear many, many hats, or what I say, many, many coats. And because of that, we tend to serve ourselves last. And for all of those that we care about, our spouses, our children, our grandchildren, our community, they will be better served when we are serving them from our overflow. So we have to make sure that our cup is full and overflowing onto the saucer, essentially, before we can start giving out. Because if you're serving from a half full cup, it's not going to bode well in the future. You'll see, I know for me, it's like I may do something and this is in the past because I've so changed my life from the perspective of making sure that I am serving from my overflow. But at the same time, it could breed resentment. You're helping people, but then, you feel like, well, nobody's helping me. And, and I'm doing this for this one and I'm doing that. And, so
yes,
again,
I've had those moments in the past. I know exactly what you're talking about, but that comes from burnout.
Mm-hmm. So you have to make sure that you're always serving from your overflow. And that's why I say, take care of yourself first, because then you will be so full and you will be overflowing. And you'll have so much to give, and you can give with love and kindness, and you can give from such a better place that the impact is greater. You feel better about it, not drained, right? So it really just makes sense. It's just one of those things that makes sense. And unfortunately, we've kind of got on this hamster wheel where we're serving everybody and we just don't know how to rearrange it. We just don't know how to stop and say, wait a minute, time out. I need to take care of me. Yes. Because sometimes, folks look at that as like, oh, you're being selfish. Oh, that's an egotistical thing or something along those lines. And no, my sister, it is not. That is what's going to save humanity, is when we put ourselves first and make sure that we're serving from our overflow.
Yes. Oh, that's wonderful. I mean, and it's such a timely message about what's going on today with the pandemic. Everyone's running. They're trying to take care of family. Women are stuck at home, but we're also out living lives. So go and take that spa visit. Go ahead. They're open. Take that time out. Go to a restaurant and order and treat yourself. I was just in Hilton Head with one of my friends, and it was so relaxing. All the restaurants were crowded. And we're like, okay, we got our mask. We're ready to go. The spas was crowded. The beach was crowded because people have realized that, yes, there's a pandemic going on, but we still have to go out and live our lives.
Absolutely.
A lot of women are still sitting at home and they're like, oh, I don't know what to do. I mean, you guys go out. And she said, take care of yourself. Serve from your overflow. Most definitely. I love the part where you talked about taking baths.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, we're always running in and out to shower, but the water is so tranquil.
Yes.
What are some of the things you use in the bath? You said some salt.
Yes. So I use different kinds of salts. I love essential oils. So again, it depends on my mood or what it is that I'm trying to do. If I'm trying to relax, I might juice some ginger and put some ginger in my water. Yes. So that helps to remove toxins, and it also helps to kind of like boost your metabolism, right? It gets you energized, right? Really? So I may do that. Essential oils I love. Like if I'm bathing before I go to bed, it's definitely going to be something like a lavender, and then while I'm soaking, I'm going to sip on some chamomile tea. Really just the kind, whether I'm burning a candle, I'm really just trying to, again, take care of myself and get myself in the right mindset. Because again, it really does help us to clear our mind and to really tap into the thoughts that are going to serve us. As humans, we have over 60,000 thoughts a day. A lot of those thoughts are really thoughts of things that we don't need to be thinking of, right? Necessarily negative stuff. They really aren't things that are going to serve us. So when you take that time to relax and just let those thoughts flow through. And then you can start tapping into those things that you need to focus on, right? And then those things start coming up. And then you're like, oh, yeah, let me jot that down. Yeah, oh, that's great. Let me write that down. And then that can be kind of like your guide for the next morning. So I'm a reverse diary person. You know, oftentimes people will write in their diary at the end of the day, this is what happened, almost like, right? Mm-hmm. So I do mine in the morning. This is what I'm gonna do, right?
Okay.
So you're kind of taking charge of it and not just feeling like you're just a victim of circumstance and guess what happened to me today type thing, right? It's more or less being laser focused on the things that you want to accomplish in that day. And even if you don't accomplish everything, just knowing that one or two things on that list that you were able to check off gets you one or two steps closer to your dream, right?
So it's like planning your day.
That's right.
It's like, this is what I'm going to accomplish today. Instead of the night saying, this is what I did, or this is what I didn't do. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because your thoughts in the morning, they say that the first 21 minutes of your day sets the tone.
Absolutely.
For the rest of the day.
That's why you should not touch your phone. Don't do it. It puts you in a reactive mode because now you're reacting to whatever you see on your phone, right?
Yes.
So here's this, it's something else. So now you've literally gave up your day to something else. I remember going through days where I would be very clear on what I was going to do. I would pick up my phone and I would be down a rabbit hole, land somewhere completely else. It's hours later. I'm like, what in the heck just happened? So for me, I had to stop that. So for the first hour of the day, I don't touch my phone at all. If I have to go take a walk, if I have to go make my morning, every morning I drink lemon and cayenne in some warm water.
The pepper cayenne.
Yes, it helps to clear mucus.
Your inside must be very strong.
Yes, lemon and cayenne. So the lemon helps to clear mucus and it helps to alkaline your system. And the cayenne boosts your metabolism. So you literally start burning fat, actually, by just because it warms you up inside, right? So I do that. I might sit on my porch and journal a little bit, read a book, whatever I can do so that I don't touch my phone, right? And you would be surprised the things that you can get accomplished in that hour. You can get a 20-minute workout in, 50 squats, 50 jumping jacks. You could do that within the
I'm going to work towards that.
Exactly. Like that first hour, you would be surprised of the stuff that you can fit in that 1 hour and then do the rest of your day. And I love exercise. I am a certified group fitness instructor for Strong. So I love to exercise. But I'm not a fan of like equipment and you need stuff. I'm not a fan of that. I like to just use my own body weight, my own body, whatever I can do by myself, jumping jacks, sit-ups, push-ups, high knees, whatever, I do those types of things. I'll walk to the end of my driveway and back, and my driveway is kind of like a winding hill. So to walk down and back up, it's no easy feat. So I'll kind of do that, like walk down and run up. Different things like that. So simple things that really just you would be surprised of what you can accomplish in just a little bit of time. And again, that's just investing that time into yourself. And then you got all the rest of the day to answer email and do all that other stuff. But that first thing, you took that time out for yourself. I always am the person who takes that mid-afternoon break sometime between 1 and 4. I'm going to take that break and do a reset for Amirah, And, so those are the things that I've incorporated into my schedule that really help me. And through coaching, I help other folks identify what's going to be best for them. Right. And to do the things for them. I see.
We have a question.
Yeah.
Can you see it at the bottom of the screen?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, go ahead.
It's necessary to put down everything you want to do in a day or days to come in order for one to be able to achieve it. I keep everything in my mind and I accomplish them anyway. Is that wrong? No, that's not wrong. And this is a great question. And no, you don't have to put down everything. I always say 3 and 3. I do 3 things I want to do professionally. And then I do 3 things that I want to do personally. Right. So typically it's those three things. And then if I don't do those three things, I carry them over to the next day, right? And it's okay to process things in your mind, because again, your mind, everything begins in the mind. Everything starts with a thought. There has been nothing that has been manifest without it first being a thought, right? So keeping them in your mind is great. However, there is something physiologically about the mind to the hand and getting something just written down. It kind of like solidifies something. It's almost like I've pledged to do this, right? So there's just something about writing it down. And I know since we've been in this digital age, everything is a keyboard and it's the thumbs and all of that, but be old fashioned, right? And get a pen or a pencil and some paper, and you will see the difference that it makes by just simply writing it down. So yes, I will always encourage folks to go old school and write stuff down, because it's really helpful. And it's really helpful to be able to reflect and think something about holding like a book or a journal or a page and reading your own words. You know, it's just something about that really helps to help it to manifest.
Okay, I hope that answered your question. Definitely. I have tons of journals that I keep. I have a calendar for this year that I write everything down. For me, it just helps me to stay focused, because I could go back and read it to see if I've accomplished this task or not. So normally at the beginning of the week, I will say, okay, so this is Sunday, and I take my weekest Sunday. And I said, okay, what I want to write for this week. And I would write down Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then every day I just revisit it to see, okay, so today's Monday. This is my task list. This is what I'm supposed to do. And for me, it helps me to stay focused. Everyone is different. And if that works for you, that's fine. He says, right, I got it. Thank you. Wonderful. Yeah, because we're all different. We're all individual, and what might work for one person may not work for another person. But try writing it down. Get in a journal, and then you can revisit it a year from now and say, wow, I've accomplished that. It's real funny when I read my old journals or my old...
I get a kick out of that too.
What was I doing? What was I thinking? Am I changing the world? Am I Superwoman?
And when I first started out journaling years ago, I was not good at it at all. I would write stuff. I would rip the pages out like, oh my God, you did that? You said that? Oh, I would rip the pages out like, oh my gosh, this is insane. So when I first started it, I was not good at it at all. It did not set well with me. But now, for the most part, and I try to make my entries very short, like between 1 and 3 sentences. I don't, go on and on, because that's what I used to do as a youngin'. I used to just go on. And that's why I'd be like, girl, what are you doing?
Writing a book.
Yes, but making it like 1 to 3 sentences and being very intentional. It really, really does help in manifesting. It really does.
Yeah, and manifesting is a wonderful thing once you learn that if you want something, you ask the universe. And all of a sudden, before you know it, it's there, and you have what you've asked for. That's manifestation. And I love it. I love it. I love the power. We're gonna go to a commercial break in a few, but I want you to tell us about this cybersecurity engineer, which is unbelievable.
So yes, I'm a cybersecurity engineer. I have been in the information technology field essentially for over, it's like 25 years. And it's weird to say that. But yes, it is something that I kind of happened across when I was in college, getting into information technology. I went to college to be a nurse. And when it got to doing practicals and stuff like that, I realized how squeamish I was and how I could not stand the sight of blood. I couldn't take the smells or anything. So I was like, okay, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do this. And that's kind of why I'm a health coach now, because that's always been in my blood, to serve people in a way from a health and wellness perspective. I just, when I was going to be a nurse, it just was not working out for me back then. So I went to my guidance counselor and I was kind of like, what else can I do that makes a lot of money? That was my focus. I was a single mom at the time. So I was like, look, I need to exchange my time for money and I need to make sure that it's a lot. And so my guidance counselor recommended information technology. And at the time, I had been exposed to, computers. I had a lot of folks around me who worked at IBM and things along those lines. So I was raised in a community actually where IBM was born. So we were really familiar and got in tune with working with computers at an early age. So it wasn't a big thing for me. I was just like, oh, okay, well, let's go down this route, And so that became my career just from that. I wanted to do something that I could make a lot of money.
I like that. So, I'm a single mom. I need the money.
Yes. And literally that was it. I was just like, okay, that's what I need to do. And like I said, so for the past 25 years, that has been my career. And I enjoy it. It's interesting just to see where we've come in this 25 years as it relates to information technology as a whole. I'm in cybersecurity. I am a cybersecurity engineer, but I am an instructor. So I teach major corporations in partnership with Microsoft. I teach major corporations on how to manage their security. Mm-hmm. So I teach like all of your IT directors and your CISOs and your security administrators and your security operations folks. So I teach them how to manage these multi-billion-dollar companies and how to manage their security. So I'm looking at it from that perspective nowadays. I've been doing
that's wonderful.
That perspective for about the past 10 years. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So as we don't want to be hacked. No one wants to be hacked.
Oh my goodness. And it's everywhere, it's just everywhere. It's not if, but when at this point.
Yes, definitely. So we're going to take a commercial break and we're going to come back and then we're going to talk about the humanitarian side of everything she does for Africa. One of my favorite subjects at ADDI, one of my favorite organization, one of my favorite African, Mama Africa. So the next 30 minutes is going to be so excited because it's so close to my heart about the things that these ladies are doing for Africa. And I'm so excited. So we're going to take a brief commercial break and definitely we're going to be back. You guys just don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere.
The Lady Be Blessed Humanitarian Foundation is a USA IRS registered 501c3 public charity. Our mission is to actively and effectively engage in promoting human and social welfare with no prejudice against human suffering on the grounds of gender, sexual orientation, religious, or national divisions. Our main goal is to save lives, relieve suffering, and maintain human dignity. Donate now to support our work. PayPal.me/TLBBH Foundation or cash.app/$TLBBH Foundation. Come join Women Wednesdays with Lady Be Blessed, an empowering podcast spotlighting women in leadership. A weekly look at some amazing women leaders, mentors, role models, change makers, community advocates, presidents, CEOs, executive directors, and boss ladies. These women are women that lead. Every Wednesday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, streaming live, facebook.com/Lady Be Blessed, youtube.com/Lady Be Blessed. Let us help you win in business. MXZT Digital Tech Solutions. We help small businesses get online with business class website builders, managed WordPress platforms, domain name registration, web hosting, hosted email, e-commerce, and online stored solutions. Our 24/7, 365 support is always available at mxztdigital.com. MXZT Digital Tech Solutions. We help small businesses. Visit. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time in the most important hour of hip-hop for the Ike Jackson Report podcast. Available Sundays weekly and the Ike Jackson Report podcast daily. Available weekdays for engaging, serious hip-hop political commentary. Available now on Anchor FM, Spotify, iTunes, and Amazon. Engage. Stream serious conversation. Stream the Ike Jackson Report podcast now. Ike Jackson presents the Re-Up series. Re-Up, Re-Up 2, a prequel, and Re-Up 3, The Promised. Follow the incredible adventures of Simone, a single mother assassin trying to get out of the killing game. Will her daughter's life be enough to cash out? Download the Re-Up series novels, audiobooks, and screenplays now at barnesandnoble.com, walmart.com, and digital outlets everywhere.
Welcome back, everyone. This is Women Wednesday. I'm your host, Lady B. Bless, your African Caribbean Empress. I want you guys to reach out each and every Wednesday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, going live on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Lady B. Bless, and also on YouTube, youtube.com/Lady B. Bless, and where we talk to women that's doing extraordinary things as boss ladies, coaches, CEOs, executive directors, everything. They are just amazing. And I want to, bring the light to them. And so they could share with you some of the things that they're doing. Today, I have a very powerful and wonderful woman on board. She is, I call her light and love, because everything she does, she does it with love. And when talking to her, you feel a calmness because it's no rush. It's relaxed. She takes her time. She reminds me of Maya Angelou. I tell you, one time I met Maya Angelou and there was 1 million people in the room. And I never thought that I would even get to go and talk to her personally. And when I went to talk to her, I couldn't talk. She put her hands on my shoulder. She says, "My daughter, relax. We are all women." And just that, her saying and the way she said it, I was like, everything just like relaxed in me instantly. Some people are like that. They carry that type of energy in them. And talking to them is like a release. It's like a relax. When I first met Amirah, it was on a Zoom conference that she was doing with ADDI, which is the African Diaspora Development Institute under the Honorable Dr. Arakana, who was the former ambassador to the United Nations, who I've met twice. I met her twice on 2 occasions. So these women are wonderful. And I wanted to have Amirah on because the work that she's doing as a humanitarian is very selfless. When people are doing selfless work, you want to have them come and give that exposure. So, Amirah, I'm welcome back from the commercial.
Give thanks, beloved. I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you back. I want us to go in now and talk about your humanitarian work and the work that you do so selflessly, running around the globe, globe trotting, doing everything to bring peace, security, love, and unity to our brothers and sisters in Africa.
Yes.
I know, right?
I know. I know. It's just, it's one of those things that it makes me feel all good inside.
Yes.
But yes, I do work directly with ADDI. I am the director of global outreach for that organization. And like you so eloquently introduced the organization, it is the African Diaspora Development Institute. And it is under the helm of our beloved ambassador, Dr. Arakana Shihomba-Rikwao, who is the former permanent ambassador to the African Union for the United States. And the African Diaspora Development Institute was developed. It's a 501c3 organization that was developed to be the bridge between those that are in the diaspora and those that are actually still on the continent or the continent of Africa and the brothers and sisters there. And what's important in this bridge, in this really culmination of those out here in the diaspora, keeping in mind there's about 423 million African diaspora. And if you're not familiar with the term diaspora, that just essentially means that you are a descendant of Africa, but you do not live on the continent of Africa, right? So again, 423 million of us that are outside of the continent of Africa. But understanding that we in and of that, just being 423 million of us, we are a nation. We are a nation of people who essentially don't have any land, right? But the motherland, right? So again, to be a nation of people, you typically have to have a land, right? That is your land, and that is how you essentially are a nation of people. So the goal is to promote Africa, to raise the level of awareness of Africa, to understand that Africa is the cradle of humanity, to understand that 80% of all of the resources in Africa are still in the ground, essentially. That it is our rightful inheritance, everything that is on that continent, because that's where our people are from. That's who we are from. And really making that connection and identifying investment opportunities and connecting the diaspora with investment opportunities, connecting the diaspora with your brothers and sisters on the continent so we can go there and build it to make it the Africa that we want. Because again, it's the richest continent. There are so many countries that you can put inside of Africa and still not fill it up. I know if you look at the map, it doesn't appear that way, but that's those mind games that get played, right? So we have to understand the power that we have as a people. So part of the mission of ADDI is to build 1 million people, right? Get 1 million people together. And again, there's 423 million of us. So 1 million shouldn't be a heavy feat, right? But it's because of some of the, the teachings of the different communities that we were raised in. It really does prevent us. It has done a doozy. I don't know how else to explain it, but it has really prevented us from working together. And unity is key. I always say functional unity, being able to function in a united way towards a common goal for the greater good. And unfortunately, it's just one of those things that we as a people, a melanated people, have just really struggled with working together with one another. And so through ADDI and through some of the webinars and conversations that we have and will be having forthcoming through our organization is going to speak to those things and really have those candid conversations that are going to raise the level of awareness for us as it relates to how we even relate as what we would say the descendants of the formerly enslaved and continental Africans who have come to the continent of America. Let's just start with America, right? So if you're a descendant of the formerly enslaved and you're a continental African who was born and raised on the continent, and then some point you've come to America, right? What is the relationship between, these two people, right? These two factions per se, because essentially we're one, but of course we realize that we may not always look at each other as one, right? We're looking to find those differences or those idiosyncrasies between those two factions. So that is something that we're working on, because again, the same thing we can say from just the perspective of, the descendants of the formerly enslaved, we're not a monolith, right? We don't all unite and think that, we're one. Right. So when you add this other faction to it, it's kind of like, okay, it's time to really have some tough conversations. It's time to really, let's get down to what it is, get it out so that we can really work together to build the Africa that we want, to build the communities that we want. And so with that, ADDI, they're focused on that. They're focused on issues as it relates to reparations. They're focused on issues as it relates to the descendants of the formerly enslaved knowing who they are and kind of where they've come from a tribal or a kingdom perspective. So putting some programs together around that. So working in a lot of different ways to have investment opportunities, to identify who and where you actually come from on the continent, on the motherland, that uniting of everybody. Again, there's 423 million of us. And there has always been this thing on the table from an African Union perspective of identifying the African diaspora, right? Because when we say African diaspora, we can say, yes, there is an African diaspora. Yes, there are 423 million African diaspora, but we don't speak with one voice. We have all these siloed efforts going on here and there, and people are doing great things, don't get me wrong. However, we can pack a more powerful punch if we unite together and do it together. And so there's always been this thing on the table of the sixth region, to identify the diaspora as the sixth region of Africa. Because right now, Africa is basically regionally broken down into north, south, east, west, and central, right? So there's 5 regions. So this diaspora should be the sixth region of Africa and have the same power as those other regions in Africa. And so when we talk about, some of these landmark decisions that were made, like the African Continental Free Trade Agreement, right? That is literally opening Africa up, like opening it up like it's never been. And these are the things that our founding fathers, essentially from back to the OAU, we're talking about our Kwame Nkrumahs, we're talking about our Muammar Gaddafi, like all of those people who came together so long ago to develop Africa and for it to be seen as one country, one continent, one entity, right? And not all of these little countries broken up with speaking different languages, using different money. So not being able to trade with one another. And it's so much chaos that had ensued because of the colonization and all of that, whether it's from France, Portuguese, British, whatever the case may be, they were colonized in a way that really kept you from talking to your neighbor. Right. Kept you from talking to your brother, split up everything. Like you can cross the street and they're speaking a whole nother language and they're dealing with a whole different currency, right? So literally limiting your ability to grow. And to open that up so that we can now trade amongst one another and beginning to be able to travel, because again, just like we need a visa to go to a different country on the continent of Africa, they need a visa to travel to different and it's like us being here, going from Georgia to South Carolina to North Carolina to Virginia, and you need a visa and a process and something to happen to do each of those steps. It's just weird, right? It's just something that was put in place to keep you from uniting. And we recognize all of those barriers that have been put in place. Mm-hmm. And, and it's a big lift. It's a heavy feat. But I think that, and I feel it in my heart and soul that if we could just unite, and that's the only thing that's preventing us from accomplishing all that we can, because we have everything. There's nothing we don't have, right? Yeah. There's nothing we don't have. We have the educated people, we have business owners, we've got doctors, lawyers, we've got every sector that you can imagine. And as a part of ADDI, we've we have all of those sectors covered. I'm over outreach, so I'm kind of like a mouthpiece and really putting things out. But we have sectors for information technology. We have sector for engineering and architecture, for doctors, for lawyers, for nurses, we have all of these different sectors that have really come together to plan on how we are going to go into Africa and essentially, and one of my millennials, she says, and take it back.
Take it back.
As from my Davisha, and just take it back. And that's essentially, what we need to do, because we are the rightful owners. It's our land, and we really do have to see it that way. And unfortunately, the stories that we've been told and the things that have been shared with us about it has made us kind of be like, I don't want to, claim that. And it's your rightful heritage. And I think just raising the level of awareness to folks that it is your rightful heritage, and kind of explain some of the things and give you a little insight on it. It really helps folks to really kind of have that aha moment, like, oh, just like I take a trip to Aruba or St. Thomas, or I go wherever, I can go to my motherland. There are things there for me, and whatever's not there for me, we can build it. It's just that simple, right? We can build it. We can put our money together, and we can go there and build on that land. Very, very easier than we can do it here in America.
Right.
A lot less expensive than we can do. And it's beautiful, naturally beautiful. Ocean fronts and just beautiful greenery and trees, and just, it's beautiful. It's like, why wouldn't you want to go there? Right.
You know what? I listen, and whenever I'm on an ADDI meeting, right? Mm-hmm. The transparency, just the information is in itself beautiful. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of here, I'm Caribbean. So I'm Guyanese. Mm-hmm. So I always say we were enslaved for 200 years, where in America it lasted 400 years. So a lot of our culture, a lot of our beliefs, and a lot of our practice, and thank God a lot of our food is close to African food, right? Girl, when I'm with my Ghanaian friend or my Nigerian friend and they're cooking, I'm like, oh, that's what we eat in the islands. Cook it up. So a lot of things that happen here in America is misinformation and a diverse culture. Mm-hmm. They didn't get the culture like we did as when slavery happened. Mm-hmm. So the misinformation is plenty. But what I love, and I tell everyone, the website is there. I just put it up. Kareem said very inspirational. Kareem is from Trinidad and Tobago. So I love when my people log in from all over the world. Yes, definitely. Let me put back up ARADDI. Sign up, become a part. Mm-hmm. Become a part of this mission. It doesn't matter where you are in this world. You're part of African Diaspora. Mm-hmm. Sign up and become part of it. Any questions you want, it will be answered. Transparency with this organization is my number one draw to it. Mm-hmm. Because they're transparent with everything. And like you said, several organizations have popped up. Mm-hmm. Since ADDI, some of them have the same initials with a little ADI, DIDD. Mm-hmm. And I'm saying to myself, why can we all not work together? It's like we see someone doing something over here and we say, oh, I want to do that too. Let me start my little organization and do it, instead of coming over here and say, okay, how can we help each other?
Right.
And that is where our people go wrong.
Every time.
And it never fails.
Every time.
So now there's a pocket over here, a pocket over here, a pocket over there, and nothing is getting done.
That's right.
Oh, Kareem said he just joined. Congratulations. Yes.
Give thanks, beloved.
The Caribbean people, we don't play. Oh,
I appreciate you for that. Thank you so
Kareem
much.
Said he just joined the movement. Thank you. He's a mental health advocate in Trinidad and Tobago. I had him on my Men Monday show a couple of weeks ago. Oh, very inspirational wonderful. Young man. I hope you could see his interview when you check out the interview. So thank you, Kareem. Thank you. You are our African Caribbean queen. Aww.
She
Thank
is. She
you.
is.
You guys just spoiled me. You just spoiled me. But one thing I want to say about Dr. Arakhan is that she don't let down.
Oh,
And I love her for that. Oh, tell us when is her next Zoom session. So everyone, tell us when is the next Zoom session. So everyone
right
here that's
now, we are
listening.
scheduling. I believe we're going to be doing one. I want to say it's on the 12th. It may not be published yet, but it should be on the 12th. And this is going to be speaking to our banking. Oh, yeah, the Addis Bank initiative, because we need our own bank, folks.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
we are
And our own currency.
Yes,
I think we're already on that.
The Odua coin.
And
yes,
our
there's a lot going on.
Wakanda City in Ghana, because I love
City
Ghana.
Of Excellence, where we have essentially 35,000 acres of land that we are going to be building on. And so this is an amazing opportunity. When I met Ambassador Quao back in 2018, I sat through a presentation. She called all these leaders in. We met in Baltimore at the harbor, and she did a presentation on the Wakanda Cities of Excellence.
And you're sitting there like,
and I'm like, oh, this is great. And at the time, I was the president of the African National Chamber of Commerce. Shouts out to ANCOC. And just watching the presentation and seeing everything that she wanted, a hospital and the school and all of these things and the theme park and this and like literally building a smart city, and you think, thank you.
Truman is from Zimbabwe. We're international.
Yes, an ambassador, that's her homeland. Harare.
Yes, she's Zimbabwe. Yeah, he's from Harare too.
So just seeing her vision. And then as we're sitting here, 3-4 years later, and now I've acquired the land and are getting, and just getting those steps closer to the vision. Yes. And so we're seeing it all kind of come into fruition, and it gives you such a warm and fuzzy feeling, especially, again, like you said, it's selfless. We're giving up all of our free time essentially to ensure that we are putting all of the things in place that we can to make this a reality.
Yes.
And to see those things developing and that, oh, we got this. Oh, this is happening. Oh, so it becomes so exciting. But the one thing is just to get more people involved and also just understanding that aspect of unity, because again, that's where we pack a more powerful punch. It's just where we do siloed efforts and that's great, but they're kind of like this, right? It's like, okay, we've got siloed efforts. They're like this. I always think like if somebody slapped you with an open hand, it's going to hurt. But if they punch you with a fist, you know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, I get the picture. So that's what we need. We need that fist so we can just come in strong and get everybody together. But it has been coming together so nicely up to this point. So I only expect bigger and better things as we move forward. Of course, I've come to the realization that everybody can't go. Everything isn't for everybody.
That's right.
But
I don't try to convince people anymore. Because if it's not for you, it's not for you, but it's for me.
Exactly.
I'm on board.
Right. So the right people are coming. Let's just say the right people that we need are coming, and it's a beautiful thing. And it only just makes it more exciting that you really see the things, your efforts manifesting, that your efforts that you're putting in, it's not for naught, right? It's actually bringing forth some goodness in the world. And so, just a wonderful thing. I'm super excited about it. Like I said, keep an eye out. If you go to our ADDI.org/events, that's where we'll be posting all of the events coming up. But like I said, there may not be on the schedule yet, but I believe April 12th, we're going to be talking about the bank card. And because we've had so many people buy into the bank card, Her Excellency wants us to put it out for them to choose what images are going to be on our cards. So we were talking about, should it be Marcus Garvey or Kwame Nkrumah or Malcolm X or so we're going to do like some little bit of fun stuff around that. So it would be
I didn't hear no women mention Dr. Arikana.
Yes,
I want her on my card.
Mandela,
Willie Mandela, yes.
Maya Angelou, she is my shero. So
Oh,
mentioned her
I
about
told you,
me,
I know.
Yes, I was just like, oh my gosh, that's my shero.
Yes, and her personality just melts you.
Yes.
It was like one of the greatest things in my life ever.
Indeed, it does. So yeah, that's for the 12th. We are going to be doing some outreach webinars coming up soon as well. And I was talking about the candid conversations that we're going to be having, which is going to be a regular scheduled conversation just about getting that descendants of continental Africans and the continental African, finding out what those idiosyncrasies are and working through that. We're going to be doing webinars as it relates to reparations, and not only hearing it from the American descendants of formerly enslaved perspective, but from South America, from other places to, see how colonization affected them. Yes. And then collectively, we can come and say, okay, this is what we want.
Yes.
But again, everything has to be done as a unit. And that's the goal. It's just to unite everyone together. But this is a great effort, and we have a lot of great support, and we can always use more. Again, we're trying to build at least 1 million strong, and there's 423 million of us. So we should be able to do that with no sweat.
We need to do it. And it's no sweat. It's just get rid of the misinformation and relearn what you've learned. Mm-hmm. And that's the bottom line. I just want to end on this note. I definitely want to be a part of the conversation about reuniting Africans and African Americans. Mm-hmm. I used to do a conversation series called Bridging the Gap Between Africans and African American. How can we bridge it? And the last one we did was at Georgia Tech in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. And the funny thing is that Africans did not understand slavery and the mindset of those that were enslaved and then pass it down to their generations. Mm-hmm. And African Americans did not understand colonization and the mindset it did to Africans and how it's been passed down. Right. So when you bring these two together and they're actually sharing, like a lot of African American, they don't believe that, okay, there was a queen in Africa, Asantewa. She got on a boat and she actually came and she tried to free. And they're like, no, that never happened. That, all of these things are not communicated. You see?
Yes.
Or the Africans are like, oh, Americans are lazy. It's just drugs and everything. When there's so many well-to-do, affluent African-American communities here that they don't tell you about.
Right. And the struggles that African Americans went through so that you can come here and go to college.
Exactly.
And just come in and walk into college.
Yeah, because we couldn't go to school at first.
In order for that to happen.
Yes.
It's a different life if you just come here and go to college.
It's different now. Like I came to the US in the 70s. I came in 76, which was totally different than coming now. It's a breeze now to come and, I'm going to school. But back then it was hard. Yeah. I came from South America. I was Hispanic because they didn't know there were Black people in South America. And I'm from Guyana. Where's Guyana? Where's that? So it was explaining and doing a whole lot of things. So I would definitely want to get with
call on you
to be part of that conversation about bridging that gap and bringing those two together and we did it 3 years in a row, and it's emotional. Trust me, it's an emotional thing because at the end they're hugging each other. The Africans are hugging, and because they never knew. And this exchange of information is what we need.
It's so true. And I'm going to call on you, my beloved sister, to be on the panel or to, do whatever. And this kind of falls under my realm, and I haven't got it all planned out, but maybe you can work with me to get it done.
I will definitely work with you. I'm not going to say no. So I have a platform. Let's use it.
Absolutely.
This platform here, let's use it. 47,000 people on Facebook. Why not? Let's use it.
Absolutely.
You see, and my WhatsApp, my classes that I do and everything, let's use it. Let's have this conversation.
Absolutely. Because it's so needed. And we will be better for it, for sure.
Yeah,
So
and
on
we're
one
getting
final
there.
note, I do want to put in about Her Excellency's book, Africa 101, because that kind of concatenates a lot of good stuff about where we've come from, where we plan to go, things along those lines. So africa101.org to order Her Excellency's book on this topic. And again, we're going to have some conversations around it that I know are going to be phenomenal. They're going to be life-changing, and it's going to set us on the trajectory that we need to be on to build the Africa that we want.
Most definitely. And you guys can learn a lot from our ADDI, artaddi.org. You'll also read about the Pan-African currency that's being set up. So a lot of things are happening underneath your nose. So I'm glad everyone that tuned in today. You know, I see you guys. Thank you so much. Everyone that sent their comments in. Kareem said it's a culture shock. Yeah, it is a culture shock because a lot of things we don't know. Mm-hmm. And we need to learn from each other. They say if you want to hide something from a Black man, put it in a book. We have to stop that mentality. Yeah. If you want to tell him the truth, if you want to tell him a lie, send him a white man. If you want to tell him the truth, send him a Black man, because we don't listen to each other.
Exactly.
We need to stop. Hey, that's a different subject.
Massa's ice is colder.
Exactly. That's a different subject, a different day.
Talk all day.
Because that one always gets me stumped. It's like, whoa. So a lot of things.
Thank you so much. Like I said, I will offer a coaching consultation for 1 hour for all of your viewers. I appreciate you so much. I do coach everyone, but my focus is the African American male, the Black man.
Oh, really?
That is absolute my focus.
That's your focus. Wow.
We focus a lot on women, and what happens and what I've seen is that women, they get themselves together, they are ready, they are doing it, they are taking care of themselves, they're getting it, and we left the man, and he's like, wait, what about me?
Wow,
and
wonderful.
Like, look, you better get yourself together. And I'm like, that's my job. I got you, brother. I'm going to get you together.
You hear that, my brothers, my man?
I'm going to get you together.
You guys, get in touch. Get in touch. I know Kareem is going to be getting in touch. That's his background.
Yes. Yes. So I love my brothers, and I am here to support my brothers. That doesn't mean that I don't coach women, because I do. It's just my avatar is the African American male.
Wow. Mm-hmm. I appreciate you for that. Someone told me, oh, Lady V, you talk about the women, you talk about the girl child. That's why I started Men Mondays.
Yes.
So my Men Mondays are for my men, and I bring them on and they could talk. So I have my Men Monday and my Women Wednesdays and my Financial Fridays. There you go. Definitely, I bring it all out. So I appreciate you. I could go on and talk to you forever and ever and ever.
It was great.
Dear. It was wonderful. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your light and your love with us and everything. I want to be a part of that conversation. I cannot say it again. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking forward to hearing from you on that and sitting down and seeing how we could put it together. And we can have our first conversation within 15 days.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We got to put a time limit to it.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. Let's have our conversation. We have the platform. Invite the people. Let's talk. Let's bridge this gap. Let's get this unity. Africans for Africans. ADDI. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. You do wonderful work. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you. I will continue to do my best. It's all I could do. I will continue. And with people like you, you make it easy.
Give thanks, beloved.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, that was another episode of Women Wednesday. And I appreciate you guys. You see, it's sweating. It's so hot in here. It's 80 degrees outside today, so I have to open the windows. But definitely thank you guys for coming. As you say, you have the coaching session that's been offering, and everyone that threw their comments in. I appreciate you guys so much. I'll be back here Friday with Financial Friday with Sharice Spam. We're going to talk about the new tax law that Biden is talking about, making one tax Tax Agency. Thank you. There's my PR. Truman, thank you so much. Men Wednesday, Tech Tuesday, Women Wednesdays, Teaching Thursdays, and Financial Fridays are all amazing. Don't miss any of these episodes every day. And the website is www.IamLadyBeblessedPodcast.com. You guys being great. I'm out of here, and I'll see you guys on Friday. Have a wonderful day.
The Lady Be Blessed Humanitarian Foundation is a USA IRS registered 501c3 public charity. Our mission is to actively and effectively engage in promoting human and social welfare with no prejudice against human suffering on the grounds of gender, sexual orientation, religious, or national divisions. Our main goal is to save lives, relieve suffering, and maintain human dignity. Donate now to support our work. PayPal.me/TLBBH Foundation or Cash.app /$TLBBH Foundation.